This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird game, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we got a special guest because it's game week, Eagles versus Lions. A lot to dive into. We had some technical difficulties. It happens, right? Hopefully the Eagles don't have none on Sunday. How you doing today?
I'm good, Mike. How are you doing today?
Football's right upon us. I can't feel any better than this.
I know feels like it's been forever, right?
Every single offseason, I feel like takes a little bit longer to get to the regular season.
That's because you're getting older, my man.
But yeah, yep. And as we get older, everything's just a little bit longer, a little bit more dreadful, depending on what you're actually waiting for. But we got the Detroit Lions, and we saw them last year. That's when the Eagles elected to start doing the ground and pound. We beat them 44-6. I watched a little bit of Hard Knocks, not much. This Lions team is definitely different. Just your general thoughts on the Lions and their mindset if you caught any Hard Knock episodes.
I mean, they really were really physical from what you saw, the training camp's really much more physical. Dan Campbell's extremely emotional. I think that the team that the Eagles beat last year is different than the team now. Obviously, they were 3-3 to finish the season. So I think that they're a much better football team than people give them credit for. And, look, they've got some weapons. They believe a little bit more in what they're going to do. And I think it's the home opener. It's sold out. They're pissed off about losing 4-6 to the Eagles last year. So there's definitely a sense of revenge for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and, when I look at their weapons last year, they had a guy who pretty much transformed himself to end the season. That's Amon St. Brown. He was a rookie last year. When we played in week 7, he was just a guy trying to find his NFL legs. But by the end of the season, he took over that number 1 spot. They did draft Jamison Williams, who won't be there, but Amon St. Brown led the Lions in targets. The second closest person was 35. He definitely took off, and out of Lions camp, he's been having an amazing offseason. The Lions in general have more weapons. What stands out to you that they've got this year that didn't show up last year offensively?
Yeah, I think St. Brown had 8 or more catches in the last 6 games of the season. He had 90 catches, more than 900 yards. Hawkinson is a good tight end. They bring in DJ Shark as a wide receiver coming off the injury, but was productive in Jacksonville before that. Good running backs. What they thought was the offensive line would be really good. And the problem right now, as we speak, Mike, is that they are really beaten up front. Halapoulivaati Vaitai, Big V, who we know. I got to slow it down all the time. He's not going to play. Their center, Frank Ragnow, did not practice on Thursday. So that's 2 starters out of the equation. So you can have all the skill position people you want. They thought they could win with a really good offensive line, and it may happen this year for them. If Ragnow doesn't play on Sunday, that is losing your center, having to shuffle it around, losing your center and your right guard. The Eagles really would have to take advantage of that.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Big V, and I won't attempt to say that name because I'll be worse than you. But Big V is a missing piece, but their center is big. He's a top 3, top 5 center in the NFL, according to PFF and whatnot. Now, according to some Lion beat writers and stuff, they're optimistic that he plays, but at what strength? Who knows? We definitely got to take advantage of that because I know they're going to want to run DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams as much as they want to get the ball to Josh Reynolds and Amon St. Brown. And Josh Reynolds is a old target that Jared Goff is familiar with back in Los Angeles. Didn't really play much last year due to injuries and whatnot, but he looks to be healthy. So that's an interesting point there. The way the Eagles still got to focus is just attacking their defense. I think for everything they did on offense to upgrade their offensive line, their skill positions, and just get healthy. Other than Aiden Hutchinson, their linebackers are as weak as ever. They got a 6th-round rookie starting in place. So I think that you need to attack. Hey,
First week of the season. See, you're doing what everybody's doing. You're counting out the lines, and the first week of the season is always crazy. First 2
True.
weeks of the season are crazy. So, I'm not going to discount the Detroit Lions based on what you see on paper. They lost. I mean, look, they were 3-13-1 last year. I'm not going to paint them out to be the defending Super Bowl champions, but they're playing in front of a sold-out crowd. It's game number 1. They've got revenge on their minds. There's a lot of things that are pointing to this being an extremely difficult game.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas got it at a 3.5 line. Like I said, Charles Harris, a guy they picked up from Atlanta last year, he had 7.5 sacks. He's coming off a 7.5 sacks season. And now on the opposite side of them, they got Aiden Hutchinson, who did have a sack every game of the preseason. It is the preseason, but that's when your young guys start to show what they can and can't do. He's been getting rave reports out of training camp. When I talk about their defense, I'm not just saying that we should just run over them like we did last year, but even in the 14 passes that Jalen Hurts had last year, it was to mainly Dallas Goedert. Out of 14 attempts, I think there was 9 completions and 6 of them went to Dallas Goedert. And that's because how the Eagles needed linebackers in the last couple years, they've been as bad, if not worse, in the past. And again, they got a 6th-round rookie starting because they have to, and they re-signed that Azzaloni guy, who to me, he plays with energy and all that, but if he's on another team, he's not a starting linebacker. So I still think the middle of the field is what the Eagles should pay attention to offensively.
I find that hard to do when you've got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown on the outside. That's what's so beautiful about this offense, because if the Lions try to pay attention on the outside, then Dallas Goedert's going to have a lot of room. If they try to play the Eagles in zones, then Jalen just has to be really patient. If they try to play man-to-man, I mean, Jeff Okudah was the 3rd pick overall in the draft a couple of years ago. 3 years ago, I guess. He's been injured a lot, only 10 games played. But really talented, physical. I mean, good luck covering AJ and Devontae in man coverage. So I think there's a lot of options. It'll obviously start with the offensive line. I think Aiden Hutchinson is a great, great young prospect. I think Harris is a good player. Speed rushers. Again, you're going to see things that you haven't seen. There's emotions. There's early turnovers. There's penalties. There's nerves. All of those things play into it. I mean, look, obviously, I think if the Eagles just go and handle their business, Mike, then the Eagles win the game. But again, I've been around long enough to know that when things seem this easy, as you are describing them, you are describing this as you think the Eagles are going to blow them out. You do.
We'll get to my score prediction, and hopefully you could give me something of yours. No, like I said, anything can happen, especially in week 1. And even when I went over the schedule, I'm talking about when the schedule came out and there was nothing to talk about. I say that there's always a team that you would put your paycheck on, that we will not lose to, that the Eagles will lose to. It happens every year to every team. The Chiefs are going to get knocked off by someone they shouldn't. It happens to every team, and you can't take no team for granted, for sure. I just think that, as much as we want to look at the Devontae Smith and A.J. Browns, who, A.J. can work across the middle too, I just think that is their weak link. Jeff Okudah is a guy you definitely want to target early on to see if he's up and ready, because he hasn't played many NFL games. Their opposite corner, who's, I can't say his name, is like Amari Orazier. Yeah. He had 6 interceptions last year. He had 6 interceptions. He's pretty good. He's up and coming. That's their number 1. So I think, scheme wise, you would just still want to flow everything to the middle. And again, that's not to say that A.J. Brown.
Why wouldn't you just run the ball? They ran the ball for 239 yards last year and 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, whatever it was. That's what's so, again, the Eagles, if it works out like the Eagles think, this offense can target weaknesses and beat defenses in a lot of different ways. I mean, big, strong offensive line. You want to load the box up, we'll throw the ball. You want to play a light box, we're going to run the ball. So I don't think you go in saying, let's play it one way. I think you go in saying, let's start doing it this way. But if they take this away, let's go to plan B. If they take that away, let's do this. The good news is that the Eagles have plan A, plan B, plan C on offense. In theory, we haven't seen it yet, but in theory, this offense has as many options as I've ever seen an Eagles offense have.
Yeah, I agree. And just to be clear, I'm definitely for running the ball 100%. I know that with adding AJ Brown and all these playmakers on the outside, people want to see the passing game be more consistent, but I still think that could be gradually worked in. You still play to whatever strength you got and or what the defense is allowing you to do. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the first drive you ran for 65 yards and a touchdown, continue to do it until the lines show difference. Let me ask you this though: if there's one thing that the Eagles should be aware of, the Lions do really good or not really well, because we don't know, or what the Lions could attack us with, what would you think that would be?
Probably a short passing game. Get the ball out of Jared Goff's hands. But again, that's really hard to do with an offensive line. It's hard to get a screen game going when your offensive line hasn't played much together. You want to stop the tight end. Hawkinson had, I think, 9 catches on 11 targets last year, so he was a weapon. You just don't want to play dumb football. Jonathan Gannon doesn't want to give up big plays. The Eagles have, as much as you're talking about how great everything is, Eagles have 3 new starters in the secondary. One of their starters has been here for a week. James Bradbury hasn't played in the preseason, right? I mean, a couple plays. Actually, I'm not even sure if he played against the Jets. So it's not like it's seamless for the Eagles either. The Eagles have a lot of things that they have to be concerned with. The good news is that the Eagles come into this thing healthy and they're ready to go. And I think everybody's excited. I don't think anybody's taking, like you are, Mike. I don't think anybody's taking the Eagles lightly, the Lions lightly. And I know you are, man. I know you are. And I feel like deep down, Eagles fans are too, and that's really dangerous. So I'm just hopeful that Eagles, they've said all the right things this week, they've practiced well this week. I'm hopeful that on Sunday they don't take the Detroit Lions lightly, or it will be a very tough game.
I agree 100%. And again, this is me just going over, just trying to, figure it out. I'm not the coach and I don't got to put everything together. I definitely don't take no team lightly at all. But at the end of the day, if the fans take it lightly, it doesn't mean anything. It's about the players taking it lightly, right. For sure.
So yeah, except the fans, when the players are gone from the building here, they're around other people. And if all they hear is, "Oh, it's going to be so easy on Sunday," it's going to be great. Well, that's poison. As Jalen Hurts says, that's rat poison. So don't listen to the rat poison from the media, from the fans. Don't turn on the radio when you're driving in your car. Don't read. Don't get on your social media. That's what I mean. That stuff can play psychological games.
Sounds good. So again, this is the first game of a brand new season. Expectations always high in the city of Philadelphia, just because that's the way we love our football. I'm not going to hold you too much longer. Give me a offensive player and a defensive player to come out and just set the tone for this Eagles. Just a guesstimate on offense and defense, a guy who stands out in Sunday's game.
Yeah, so to me, Hassan Reddick has been great. I mean, he's just been relentless on defense. I really like the energy that he plays with. I like how physical he is. So I kind of want him to set the tone. I see him being that kind of player. And then on offense, every day, every single day, AJ Brown makes a play. He's a different kind of receiver. I know that we have not seen him in a game yet. He gets open by using his body. He's not a speedster. He's a little bit like Terrell Owens, but Terrell had that incredible speed as well. But AJ, he just is so – it's just so interesting watching him create separation with his body. And I think he'll come out and set the tone. And I think he'll come out and make big plays. And I think that he's the one you look to kind of set things up with great energy, because he's got a confidence, a swagger about him. He's excited to be here. He's excited to be playing with Jalen. And I believe those two players really can come out and do some things early to new Eagles to come out and say, hey, this is our team, and let's roll.
Hey, I like it. And I like how you addressed it. Being two new Eagles, saying that we feel like we could be here to stay. And I did see a couple, the John Clarks and them got into the locker room, and AJ Brown still had the open sign up there. As we know, his Twitter handle is 1K always open. Yeah, man, like you said, just the arsenal he got in his bag of tricks is going to be hopefully displayed on Sunday. I like the two options you picked. Real quick, I want to get your take on the short passes that you brought up earlier. I should have hit on that. Again, it was our scheme last year with some of the players we have in the way Jonathan Gannon really wanted to not allow any deep passes. He didn't score. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he was very accurate. He only had 9 incompletions, I believe, Jared Goff. As the season goes on, not just for this game, but with the players, you would think, and just hearing Jonathan Gannon throughout the offseason, the big play stopping is still going to be on his mind, but a lot more aggressiveness coming from him this year in this game.
How would you define aggressiveness, Mike?
Just a little bit more, a little bit more man sprinkled into his zone, a little more.
He plays a ton of coverages. He plays a ton of coverages. What he didn't do a lot last year was blitz. Are you talking about just blitzing?
That and a little bit more of that, or just the fact of bringing their corners up a little bit and maybe playing 2 safeties high at times. And
yeah, I mean, you've got better cornerbacks now. In theory, Bradbury is better than Steven Nelson, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, look, he wants to. There's 2 things that are really important to Jonathan. He wants to create more turnovers. And he thinks he can do that with more pressure up front. Now that they've got Reddick, now that Brandon Graham's back healthy, Jordan Davis comes in and helps you on the defensive tackle in that rotation. So if you have more pressure from your front, you really don't need to blitz, and you, in theory, have more players in the back end to get your hands on the ball. So taking the football away is really important, and not giving up the big plays is really important. Will they be as passive as they were at times last year? No, I don't think they will. I think they will challenge more. They'll play some quarterbacks who are pretty good, but there's also some quarterbacks on this schedule that really don't scare you a whole lot. So it's kind of an interesting balance. I mean, it's like I remember Buddy Ryan was great up for blitzing and all these highlights, but they also gave up a lot of big plays. And at the end of the day, Buddy Ryan won exactly 0 playoff games. So the goal for the Eagles this year is to get to the playoffs and then do some damage. And you certainly don't want teams. The Chargers game jumps to mind with me last year. Up and down the field, Justin Herbert went up and down the field. Totally easy. It was easy. The Eagles kept everything in front of them, but they didn't get any stops. So you can't have a team do that. So you can challenge more, but don't give up the big plays. So it's a balance that he is trying to figure out, and it may take some time for the defense to really come together that way. So early on, you may see some big plays. I will remind you that the Eagles defense scored 5 touchdowns last year. So they did do something right. And in that game against the Lions, you cited Jared Goff and how many passes he completed. He also got sacked, 5 times?
5 or 6 times, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, ideally you want your front 5 to win. And that's where Hassan Reddick comes in. He's here to rush quarterback and cause havoc. And that's why I think he's one of the players who really has a chance to lead this team early on from a defensive side of the ball.
Well, you heard Dave Spadaro. If there's going to be breakout players in his mind, it's AJ Brown on offense setting the tone. I can't take that one. So I'm going to go Miles Sanders, a guy that a lot of people are just like, what's going on with Miles? I think he has a big game, 100+ yards running, and he gets a touchdown. The first game didn't have one at all last year. He gets one in the first game. And on the defensive side, you went pass rush. I'm going to go secondary, and I got Bradbury opening up as a new Eagle with a pick. I wanted to say Kaiser White, but I'm going to go Bradbury. So I'm going to give my score prediction since you think I would touch such a blowout. I got the score being 33-22. It's not that big of a deal. Think it's a little bit close. Eagles pull away at the end. 33-22 is my score.
And we'd all be happy.
What is yours? What is your, give me a prediction. Come on, you got to just a couple numbers. What's the first couple numbers that come in your head?
No, I don't honestly, I don't want to be a jerk, but I never do that. That's not.
Do the Eagles score north of 25?
I don't do that, man. I'm not that. The NFL. I'm not. I just don't do like. I don't. It's a bit of paranoia, okay? And I'm an NFL employee, and we're like not allowed to do anything even closely related to gambling. So I never talk about numbers. Never.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Eagles win, though. They're coming out the season 1-0, right?
I mean, of course, I'm a homer. The Eagles are always going to win.
That's all we need to hear. I appreciate your time, and sorry
Thanks,
for the technical
Nobody knows
difficulties.
about it. Nobody, no need to even bring it up. No problem. I'm glad to be with you.
Hey, appreciate it. Have a good one, Dave.
Anytime, Mike. Take care, my man. Go
Let's
Birds.
Go Birds. Shout out to everybody who came through. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the support. Here it goes. He not trying to give a score prediction. He got the Eagles winning. He know he got the Eagles winning. He told me he got the Eagles winning as well. Before we got on here, like I said, sorry for the technical difficulties. Had to start 2 streams up. If a lot of people hit the reminder on the first stream, we had to cancel that in the first 30 seconds. Listen, do me a favor. If you're in here, 202 people in here, hit the like button for your boy. Try to get this to at least 200 likes if you can. Y'all the best. Also, I know some of y'all watched it live. If you did not watch the whole thing, go back, rewatch it. It's only going to be about 20 minutes long. If you just get in here and you want to check what Dave had to say early, it's 20 minutes long. Last but not least, do me a favor. The winner will get $20. When you're done with this, go to the comment section. Give me the score prediction. Give me your score prediction. Whoever's closest or gets it on there will win a $20 gift card, a $20 cash app, something of them sorts. But you can't leave it in the chat right now because I'm not going to come back and check the live chat. Video's over. Go in the comment section and put your score. Put your score. Eagles, Lions. The rest of the season, we'll be breaking it down solo. I'll be having people on, but we'll also have my own preview with some good graphics and stuff that I've been working on. Again, if you just get in here, Dave Spadaro just left. Bang. Go ahead and rewatch it if you want to hear what he got to say about the Eagles and Lions. And last but not least, leave a comment, not in the chat, not where you are now. Go to the when this is over, rewatch it, comment down below, not in the live chat. Your score prediction. I got 33-22. Eagles win by 11. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. Gotta go. We out. Peace.